let's talk about Shawn Paul Reyes. Long Island Audit has a YouTube channel. One thing that I want to commend Shawn on before we get into this story is I appreciate his coverage of the correctional officers that had been charged in Marcy Correctional Institution. And if anybody doesn't know about that, that is the murder, and I am saying murder, the murder of inmate Robert Brooks, where basically what happened is at the Marcy facility, these correctional officers do wear body cams, but they didn't think that their body cam turned on that day or that night, and they did. And we captured, I think it was about an hour-long video of the beating and murder of Robert Brooks. Todd and I have actually gone through that video here on my channel, and they've all, rightfully so now, have been brought to justice. And they have, a bunch of them have cases pending. I believe there were 9. 1 or 2 of them have pled. And, you know, the ringleader, and I forget his last name, and its name is slipping me right now. He was the one that did the most damage to Robert Brooks, and he feels that he's going to take this to a jury trial and win. And I can't wait for that guy to go down. But I just want to commend Shawn for doing that and keeping some eyes on that, because it got me interested in it, and I thought it was something relative that we needed to talk about on this channel and go through. And I appreciate Todd taking the time and going through that video with me. It was very, very brutal video to watch. I never want to watch it again. And you know, so that's where we're at. But let's talk about Shawn Paul Reyes. Hang on one second here. Let me just pause. Let's see. So anyway, he had a incident. He showed up as a journalist, like he is. He's a First Amendment auditor. He goes out and you know, audits facilities. He has the right to do this. We have the right to do this if it's something that we want to do and to make sure that our government is running correctly. He's had an ongoing case with a Connecticut state trooper. His name is Brian Fahey, and I think it's been ongoing for about 2 years. And they've had some incidences when he showed up at barracks or at the headquarters and asked for FOIA requests or asked to speak about apparently, allegedly, Brian Fahey's overtime scandal, where he's essentially been put to desk duty, but he's earned, I think he said in about a year, about $80,000 in overtime. So it's kind of hard to figure out how we're getting all this overtime sitting at a desk. So Shawn wants answers, and he has every right to do that as a journalist. So the other day, he went out to Brian Fahey's house to knock on the door like any journalist has the right to do. He brought his box truck, which is kind of cool. I think it's kind of neat. He actually went out and bought this advertising box truck. And, you know, he kind of reminds me a little bit of Turtle Boy, Aiden Carney, you know, and he's just kind of doing what he does in the state of Connecticut. But we're going to play through this video. If you all haven't seen it, I'm sure you all have, because it essentially went viral. I talked a little bit about it the other day with Jason Broyles on my channel on Sunday. But I can't wait to hear Todd and Nan's take on this. So let me cue up the video. I know that was a long intro into this case.
That's okay. It's worth it.
And we're just going to speed up. So now Shawn is going to approach Sergeant Fahey's home, and we'll go through this video and break it down. And he basically said, as coming into the property, there were no trespassing signs posted. So he came into the property, and we're going to see the door knock here. He does have a camera, and he has a cameraman with him as well. Let me turn on the caption so everybody can hear. And here we go.
There aren't any trespassing signs. We're just coming in peace to ask some questions.
And Todd, I'll pause this because I know you have a lot to.
Oh, I'm currently being recorded. His Ring camera said.
All right, let's talk about this first knock, Todd, because we were talking about this in the green room before we came on. So he knocks on the door and does what?
He steps away from the door. That's a very critical first piece of this. It shows that Mr. Reyes is not being antagonistic. It shows that he's there to exercise his journalistic rights. and he has given Sergeant Fahey that space to be able to think, process who's here on my property. And I don't want to get ahead of the video, but when he gives get off my property, he complies.
Yeah. Asking what was blurred out. I think this has, I remember someone talking about this in another video. It has something in relation to the family. And I believe he's just blurring it out for privacy.
Probably sorry, Brian. It's probably
Yeah.
one of those signs that says like the Faheys with the number, you know,
Right.
the address number. So
Right,
I
right.
think it was very respectful of Shawn to block it out here. That's professional journalism right there.
For sure. All right, here we go.
Can I help you?
Hey, Sergeant Fahey, how are you?
You gotta get off my property. You're supposed to no trespassing.
Nope, there is no posted sign.
Yeah,
There's no
right at
problem.
the end.
Do you have any? Let's go. Do you have any comment on the allegations that you are? I am moving. Do you have any comment on the allegations that you are receiving?
Okay, we'll pause here. If anybody wants to jump in, please do.
I mean, yeah, go for it, Todd.
Yeah, this, you know, Brian, you opened up this segment with these two having history. Perfect opportunity for Sergeant Fahey to stay inside the house. He retreated. He went back in the house. That was the right thing to do on his part. We are going to see something different than that decision. But for the life of me, I can't imagine that someone within the Connecticut State Police didn't advise him to keep his distance. If Shawn shows up again, or if you have some interaction with him, we advise you to keep your distance. I can't, for the life of me, I can't imagine that he was not advised that.
Very interesting point, Todd. All right, here we go.
Couldn't even get the question out, ladies and gentlemen. He was so angry. Couldn't even get the question out. He says that there's no trespassing signs. Let's see. Let's see if there's no trespassing signs.
Leaving.
What a coward. He can assault me.
Being told what was directed by the person that owns this property. He is retreating. He is leaving. And in my mind, this is where the situation is going to get escalated, because the officer, the trooper, is going to re-engage now. You know, the way that I look at it, and I'm kind of getting ahead of the video here too, is that you're going to hear some things like, oh, you threatened to kill me and my family. If you felt so threatened by this, then why did you come out? Why not just create that barrier, a wall, a door, stay on the phone with 911 and say, hey, this guy's now leaving. I told him to leave. He's walking up my property. I have eyes on him. I do have my pistol in my hand just because, or just in case. But now he's going to re-engage and come outside with his pistol.
Brian,
Go ahead.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Oh, I was just going to say also, this kind of equates to the type of legal analysis that would be employed with self-defense. So someone can be exculpated from criminal liability if they present a successful self-defense defense. They say this person was aggressing towards me and I exercised due force back to protect my house or my dwelling. But in this case, and in self-defense cases, which are always hotly contested, you have Mr. or Sergeant, whatever he is, Trooper Fahey, receding back into the dwelling. Shawn is receding consistently, as Todd pointed out, from the dwelling. He doesn't stop. He is moving backwards, and at some point he turns and starts properly, I might add, facing Trooper Fahey, because he was presented with a weapon. But Fahey is the aggressor. He could have done just as you said, Brian, go into the dwelling, say, I have a weapon. This person isn't leaving. They're showing signs of not leaving. I feel threatened, or he has violated some private property sign. All of these things could have been employed properly. But you have Fahey, who turned himself again and again into a repeat aggressor. That's not going to bode well during an ultimate prosecution of this matter. I know there's criminal charges pending and or a civil rights action, which is anticipated. And we'll have to wait and see how that plays out.
Brian, can you pause right there?
Yep.
please go back to the video. But
Of course.
yeah, to visualize what Nan just articulated, which way is Shawn's back facing?
To the house.
To the house. He's not backpedaling.
Yep.
He's not antagonizing.
He's leaving.
To Nan's point about the analysis, he has made a cognitive decision that they're exiting the property. His back is to the house. Right now, obviously he could hear, but he can't see Fahey. So this just shows that he is moving in a direction to be non-confrontational.
Mm-hmm.
Thank God he had a camera. Really.
Yeah, and I'm going to get into that as this kind of gets on because I want to talk about that as well. All right, let's play a little bit more here.
Broad daylight while receiving taxpayer money. But the minute an independent journalist comes to his home,
Still leaving.
and he's probably going to try and get me unlawfully arrested now. As you could see, I moved back his camera that says you're currently being recorded. Film this guy. You're crazy. What do you think I'm doing, you psycho? You have a weapon in your hand? What are you doing? What are you doing? I don't have any weapons. I'm a journalist. What do you think I'm doing, you psychopath? What do you think I'm doing?
Get off
What
my
do you
property
think I'm
right
doing?
now.
What do you think
Get
I'm
off
doing?
my property right now.
I'm off your property.
This is my property.
Well, do you see me
All
not
the way
moving?
to the cul-de-sac.
Calm down.
Get off my
that gun out
fucking
of your hand.
property.
Get that gun out of
Get
your hand,
off my
you psycho.
fucking property.
Get that gun
I'm
out
a
of your hand, you
goddamn
psycho.
Connecticut State Trooper.
I don't care who you are.
Trespassing
I don't care
on
who you
my
are.
fucking
I don't
property.
care who you
Get
are.
off my fucking
I don't
property.
care who you are.
Right now.
You spit in my
Get off my
face.
property
You're
right
going
now.
to jail now.
Get
Look
off
at
my
this.
property
Look
right
at this. He spit in my
Get off my
face.
pro-
You're
You're
going
right
to
in my
jail.
face. I'm spitting as I'm talking to you.
No, you spit
Get
in
off
my
my
face.
property
You spit in
right
my face.
now.
You spit in my face.
Get off my
You're
property
going to jail.
right now.
I'm going.
Get off my
I've
property
been going.
right
Since the
now.
moment you told me.
Get off
That's
my
not how criminal
property
trespass
right
works,
now.
psycho.
Get
You're
off
a
my
psycho,
property
bro. You're,
right
look
now.
at the gun in his hand. This guy's
Goddamn right.
crazy.
I'm a Connecticut State
I don't
Trooper.
care a shit who you
are
are.
trespassing on my property.
That doesn't matter. You can't
threatened
break
to
the law.
kill me.
I didn't.
You threatened to
You
kill me
lied.
online.
Right? No, I
Get
did
off
not.
my fucking
You're a
property
liar.
right
You
now.
are a liar.
Right now.
Look, see the big
Get off
beautiful
my
billboard
property.
truck? It's all being recorded.
I don't care.
It's all being. I
Get
know you
off
don't
my
care
property
because you don't face any
right now.
consequences.
Get
You
off
don't
my
face any
property
consequences.
right now.
Don't
This is
spit
the
in my
biggest
face.
mistake you ever
No,
made.
no, it's not.
This
It's
is
the biggest mistake
you
you
ever made.
No,
Get
it's
off
not.
my property right now.
It's not the biggest mistake
Get
I
off
ever
my
made.
property right
It's
now.
not the biggest mistake.
Get
Biggest
off
mistake. You
my
are spit in my
property.
face.
I
You
didn't spit in your face.
You
I
disgusting.
was spitting
You
on
dis-
you.
Yeah.
Why I'm yelling at you to get off my
Yeah.
property right
Get
now.
off. I'm off your property. Now what?
Can I go
Wow.
first? Can I go first, please? I know I'm not a law enforcement officer or a retired one. Okay.
Ladies first.
Thank you. All right. Because I even picked up a couple things I didn't pick up previously.
Oh, I have a lot to say about this.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Nan.
All right. So I'm gonna leave like the heavy duty police analysis to Todd. So it's all
Yeah.
yours, my friend. But here's a couple of comments on this. One,
Oop.
as Mr. or whatever, Trooper Fahey is coming at Shawn. I forget Shawn's last name. I'm gonna call
Reyes. John Paul Reyes.
Oh, Reyes, Mr.
Yes.
Reyes. Okay.
Yep.
So as Trooper Fahey is coming at Mr. Reyes, and I know I don't want to get ahead of your video, but there's going to be an issue as to spit, the excretion of it, and whether there's fault for it. But I just saw that in Fahey's rant, and he's get off my property right now coming at him, he literally steps into Mr. Reyes, which some may think this is weak, but I had a case involving this years back. That is assault.
Fault.
So I know we're getting ahead of, what ultimately happens and as far as that day is concerned and with the spit and the like, but there was an assault, an unlawful touching of a criminal nature. I'd have to dig into the Massachusetts statutes, but that ended up,
Connecticut.
oh, excuse me, Connecticut.
Yep.
It's
That's okay.
it's all of every.
We always say Massachusetts because we're always covering Massachusetts cases.
But I'm telling you, that could be assault too. That would have been enough, in my opinion, for there to have been some type of citation or arrest. The other couple points I wanted to make are, as far as Fahey saying you just made the biggest mistake that you ever made, something like that. You just made the biggest mistake.
Ooh.
That's a threat, by the way. Now, I'm not saying that that's criminally culpable. I'm saying you have a Connecticut state or a goddamn Connecticut state trooper telling a civilian who was lawfully on the property, I might add, he was lawfully on the property. My understanding is there are no trespassing signs. I'll hit the point of private road signage in a moment, but Mr. Reyes was lawfully on the property and lawfully receding from the property. But when you have a trooper saying you just made the biggest mistake that you ever made, that is a threat. And in no way, shape, or form could that have been misunderstood. Do we know what the threat is? We don't know what the threat is, but I mean, we now know how the story at least has unfolded to now. And Mr. Reyes has been arrested, as was his cameraman. I forgot my third point, but I just want to make one point on what I heard was, at least in some chats, might have been your chat, Brian, somewhere I saw that there is a private road or no access. This is a private road sign that may be posted on this kind of unusual driveway. I would make just two little points. One, that type of signage, if it exists, that it's a private road, would not in any way constitute a no trespassing signage necessary to preclude or prevent anyone from being permitted on the property. That they're not the same. If it's a private road, it simply means that people can't just drive down it like it's a public road. The other point is, if anyone feels very passionately about this, or if Mr. Reyes or any of his supporters or his attorney ultimately watch this, I would encourage anyone to make a deeds, DEEDS search for the property records of Trooper Fahey, because it's such an unusual parcel of land where you have one access road that allegedly is private, but yet it appears to shoot off to two residences. I don't know, and I don't think any of you know, and I dare say Trooper Fahey doesn't know who actually owns that private road. And it may very well be the other residence to the left of the video. Also, if someone is requesting the deeds records, you would want to look into what are called easements. E-A-S-E-M-E-N-T-S. Easements are where, hey, one person owns the property, but they, through a legally recorded document or through custom and practice, lend access to property to the other person who needs it. Think of like, I need to go down this path. My house is on the other side of it. Can I cut through legally? Can I have permission and easement to go through your property? That may make a very big difference ultimately in a criminal prosecution or an ultimate civil prosecution that Mr. Reyes may want to file. Whose property was it? So those are my points. Go ahead, Todd.
Well said, as always, Dan. I think as far as the property boundaries go, it's probably that, the easement is certainly an issue, but also common use, right? So just based on the layout of the residential properties there coming in off the cul-de-sac, there's only but so much land in order to give everyone, their own driveway. So that's that one point which Dan broke down very, very eloquently. Okay, so in Massachusetts, spitting on another is considered assault and battery. Let me break that down for you. In Massachusetts, Brian, if I got in your face and just yelled and with rage and antagonism, but I didn't touch you, that's considered simple assault.
Wow.
If I touch you, that's the battery, right? So the spitting in this case, again,
The Haktu
of it, that ends up being the battery in Massachusetts. In Connecticut, there's another charge that is actually called threats. And under threats, it would capture the spitting on in what we saw in Fahey's misconduct there. And also there's another level of threats that's actually a felony. So there's other remedies that Shawn Reyes could pursue other than assault, because the nuance in the language doesn't afford him to use that as a potential charge. We were talking offline in the green room that Fahey is way overly emotionally invested in whatever is going on between him and Mr. Reyes. And, I do a lot of work with investigative journalists here in Massachusetts and all the main stations. I've never ran into someone that will sit down and take the time and share with you their misgivings. So, again, I'm not faulting Shawn. He's well within his rights to make the approach. Just as a Jehovah's Witness, a Mormon, anyone else walk in the neighborhood, Girl Scouts, right? It is what it is. Once he was given the get off my property, he complied and started moving away. And so I think Mr. Reyes did exactly what he was supposed to do. He was off on the nuances of the law. The police officer, and again, don't want to get ahead of this, but we'll hear the explanation, the poorly broken down explanation by one of the responding police officers about the law. But that being said, he didn't do himself any justice here in helping his situation. That's for sure.
How's this as a conduct as a member, an active member of the Connecticut State Troopers? How do they deal with this conduct, Todd? And does this affect his position? I haven't heard of anything of that he's been suspended or anything like that. What message are you sending to the public when you're seeing something like this?
Yeah, I would think there would be a follow-up investigation, Brian. And again, keep in mind that internal affairs or any investigation, it's an administrative action within the police department. Maybe we'll see something that surfaces. Again, this thing's going to be living in the courts for a while based on charges. But I can tell you this: I'm 1,000% sure the charges against Shawn Reyes will be dropped if they haven't been dropped already.
Wow. That's a big percentage. And I know, Brian, that you were discussing on your show on the Sunday 617 with Jason Broyles the fact, and I'd love to hear Todd's commentary on this, the fact that Mr. Reyes then shifted his body from walking away from the dwelling to facing Trooper Fahey because a gun was presented. And you and Jason Broyles, Brian, went into like a big analysis of, hey, now there's a weapon involved and you're pointing it at me and I'm not turning my back on you. Like I wouldn't. I know you wouldn't. Do you have any thoughts, Todd, on that? I mean, it did appear clearly that Mr. Reyes continued his stride and was receding from the property. He never changed course. And even though he was having a confrontation with Trooper Fahey, he consistently moved backwards. What are your thoughts about that, Todd?
So great question. So the optics of it all, one, shows that Shawn Reyes was retreating. He was given an exit order to get off his property, and he complied with that. It also shows that Fahey was the aggressor. It shows that Fahey could have stopped at any point on that 300-foot driveway and projected his voice, but stopped movement and encroachment on Shawn Reyes. That didn't happen. And then we just put the cherry on top with the firearm in his hand, which I was sharing with Brian, is never a tactical decision. That is never anything tactically trained in law enforcement to be able to walk and engage in someone in that manner. So I just want to put that out there and take that off. A police officer is trained to do that. But the bottom line is Shawn Reyes retreated the whole time.
And can I ask one more question, Todd? I don't think I've heard this question before, but I don't even know if we could find out the answer to this. But would it be appropriate for Trooper Fahey to be using his state-issued firearm, if it was, at his personal dwelling to protect himself or those within his dwelling? Now, again, I don't want to gaslight here. We don't know. I don't know if the police would have had a practice to document the firearm in some fashion with serial number or photograph it. I don't know if it was issued by the state of Connecticut. But I was just curious if there's any nuance here, because it sure appeared to me that Trooper Fahey, who purportedly operates a desk job, who purportedly was not working at the time and possibly might have been using his law enforcement issued weapon. Do you have any thoughts about that?
Again, great question, Nan. let's hypothetical scenario. Let's say there was a shooting. The fact that he was off duty with a department issued firearm would not be detrimental. What you have to look at now is the privilege of being on your property and defending making the claim that you're defending your family in your dwelling, but now you're in this common use area. That privilege stops at some point. Once he comes off, the further he gets away from his front porch, that argument begins to become weaker.
It's very interesting because I only thought of this now as we're talking, and this may be something to look into, something for Mr. Reyes to pursue, and also for the Connecticut State Police to look into as well, because that would be a checks and balances and a measurement of Trooper Fahey's competency and suitability or fitness to carry a firearm, in my opinion. If he's going to cross proverbial lines with a department issued firearm, and again, to everyone, I don't know if it was department issued, might have been his private weapon, but to use it in the manner in which he used it beyond certain points in time or boundaries or points of demarcation, it might be something to explore.
Yeah, for sure.
So here's my thoughts. I think that if this was ABC News, this would be a different situation. I think that Sergeant Fahey would have came out and just said, I have no comment, went back inside his house. If ABC News didn't retreat, he might have called 911 in a nice way and say, hey, I got a news truck out here. They don't want to leave. Can you just roll up and just have them leave my property? Thank God there were cameras here in this situation, because this obviously could have turned very deadly. Shawn Paul Reyes could have lost his life. And I think that, in my opinion, I think that Fahey was looking for every opportunity to do that. And the thing that leads me to believe this, and the scary thing about it, is when he says, this is the most, what did he say? This is the most dangerous thing, or this is the most, what did he say?
The biggest mistake you've ever made?
Mistake you've ever made in your life. That to me would have been kaplow. I shot you and I'm looking over you and you're saying, this is the biggest mistake you've ever made in your entire life. You also saw, and Jason pointed this out the other day, and this was a good observation by him, as Fahey is on the phone and backing Reyes up, he's saying things like, I'm a Connecticut State Trooper, over and over again. He's now saying things like, you threatened me.
Yes.
You threatened me online. You threatened me. Oh, I didn't hawk two in your face. I yelled at you and spit one on you. He's shaping the narrative for the report, for the 911 report. He's shaping the narrative. Thank God there's cameras there to catch all of this. I think Shawn Paul Reyes would have been in a very serious situation if this wasn't recorded. And let's just take this right back to the Karen Reed case. What happened? What was the first thing that Shawn Paul Reyes said when he walked onto the steps and backed off? Oh, I'm being recorded by the Ring camera footage.
Yep.
And we know what happened with Ring camera footage right across the street from 34 Fairview. Apparently, it went missing. It didn't record. And I can almost guarantee you, if Shawn Paul didn't have a videographer there with him that day and something horribly happened to him, I can almost guarantee you that Ring footage probably would have went missing or didn't record that day.
I agree.
Those are just my thoughts on this.
I totally agree. When you and Jason Broyles were saying the other day that it appeared that Trooper Fahey could have angled or would have been angling to shoot Mr. Reyes, who, by the way, everyone's names are not rolling off my tongue this evening. I apologize for that. I was a little taken aback when I heard you both say it. And then I listened to the video again, and I'm like, it's possible. He was definitely backtracking on some of what happened already. He was rewriting in his mind the narrative, the report, justifying the use of force, which, I mean, if you have the best the best expert on right now to talk about this. I don't find, and I'm not an expert on this, the amount of force to be even used in terms of Trooper Fahey's conduct during this exchange to be proportionate or appropriate. But yeah, I think had there not been cameras rolling, which I had referred to in your chat as probably the best weapon that was present that day, had there not been cameras rolling, you might have had a very different and a very dark ending to this story.
Yeah,
I agree.
It's crazy, right? Let's play through a little bit more of this here.
Now what? Look at the gun in his hand.
That's right, I have a gun in my hand. I'm a goddamn Connecticut State Trooper.
I don't care.
You threatened to kill me
No,
online.
I did
So
not.
I'm protecting myself
No,
and my
I
family.
did. No, I did
Don't
not.
ever fucking come back to my house again.
No problem. I'll stand right here with my billboard truck.
You go right ahead. Go right
No
ahead.
problem.
I don't
You spit
care.
in my face, you're
Don't
going to
ever
jail.
come back to
You're
my
going to jail.
fucking house
You're
again.
going to jail.
Don't ever
You're
come
going
back to
jail.
my house
It's okay
again.
for you to assault people and break people's property, but I can't ask questions about
You're a
your
fucking
overtime.
liar.
About
You're
your
a
overtime,
my
$75,000
More than
for
that,
a
buddy.
desk job.
More than
More
that.
than that, right? More than that. I'm gonna go. What a crazy
man.
psychopath.
Need a break from modern life? We'll travel back in time to the Star Drive-In. That's East Taunton's iconic retro hotspot. Fun for the whole family. Enjoy great food, entertainment, and timeless memories. They got free community events all season long, including movies under the stars, live music and tailgating, Jeep meets classic car shows and bike nights. While you're there, indulge in over 100 flavors of soft serve, 80 flavors of Bliss and Gifford's hard ice cream, plus a rotating selection of 10 flavors of Dole Whip. The Star Drive-In is not your average fast food place. Everything is made fresh to order using quality ingredients. Fresh seafood is delivered daily and pizza dough made twice a day for maximum freshness. I love their pizza. The Star Drive-In, where food, fun, and family memories never go out of style. They're conveniently located at 205 Myrick Street in East Taunton. That's exit 16 off Route 140. Make sure to visit their website or follow them on Facebook for their latest menus and upcoming events. And hey, while you're there, say hi to Erica and her team. And if you mention LTL at the register, you'll receive 10% off your entire purchase. That's the Star Drive-In in East Taunton. It's the most iconic retro hotspot.
Sorry, I'm like a dog with a bone. I want to know what that mailbox says, the number. You know, I'm still saying whose property is this, you know? So if anyone's very interested, they should kind of look into who's got access to that road. That impacts all of these different issues.
This is
There's
a good
one mailbox.
Robin asking a great question. Let's go to Todd on this one. Do you think if he wasn't a cop, Reyes wouldn't have been arrested?
Ask it again.
If Fahey wasn't a cop, and let's just
No.
say these are two citizens banging at it, Todd,
Oh.
okay, would Ray have been arrested that day?
No.
Was that the question? That's right. I mean,
You
that's the
think.
right answer. Maybe I read it wrong.
Do you think if he wasn't a cop,
No.
Reyes would have been arrested? He was ultimately arrested.
Arrested. He
I
was
thought it
ultimately
said
arrested.
wouldn't have been arrested.
Yeah, the responding police officers from the municipality would have said, "Hey, take this out in court. If you've got a grievance, go file, at the clerk's office."
Yeah. And the funny thing about all of this is the 911 call that was placed, by the time Shawn would have walked out, which he was retreating, the cops would have been there. Like and you're going to see the cops show up right now. And I want to ask
spit in
I
my
want to ask Todd about the when the officers interact with Shawn. I want to see if you felt this was good procedure in this as well.
face.
No, I'm an independent journalist. Get
Now
it
he's
right,
come
buddy.
back. Now Fahey's come back.
Get it
again.
right. I never threatened. He says I threatened to kill him.
It's a-
Ooh, I knocked on your front door. I'll get that 911 call too, buddy. Look at this guy. I'm a Connecticut State Trooper. Come help me from the camera. Come help me from the guy asking me questions, please, before I shoot him. And I did.
And Fahey
No,
coming
you
back
spit in my
again.
face and you're going to jail. And you're going to jail. You're going to jail. You spit in my face and you're going to. It's all right here, buddy. Right here. It's all right here. It's all right here, buddy. Look at these guys. Look.
I mean, this gentleman is so
I'm not breaking any laws. I'm not doing anything.
True.
He just spit in my face.
Get over here.
Well, I didn't break any laws.
You in a second, okay?
For what? I haven't broken the law. No. But do you have reasonable articulable suspicion I committed a crime? What? What is it? What is it?
I got a call from a trooper.
That doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. I'm a journalist. I knocked on the door and asked questions. No, I have no weapons on me.
You have weapons on you.
We have a camera of mass destruction. I'm putting my camera down.
Don't move until I get backup units. You can put it away.
What's your name?
Excuse me. Officer Romansky, it says right here. Nope, just stay right here.
He pulled out a gun on me for knocking on the door.
No, you're on his property.
I'm allowed to go on his property and knock on the door. Yes, I am.
Okay.
Yeah. You got to learn the law, man.
No.
I'm a journalist. No, you got to learn the law.
Okay. Let's just back
I'm
up.
allowed to ask questions.
Sure.
I am.
So let me tell you why we're here.
What's wrong with you? I'm not doing anything. I have no weapons on me. I have nothing. You couldn't stop. He has the weapon.
Okay. Now let me explain something to you.
Yeah, no weapons. He has the weapon.
Recording. Okay. So here's the deal. So here's the disconnect here. Here's the difference. So we get a call from him. He calls 911. Hold on.
I'm not going to speak. I'm letting you speak.
Okay. When you call 911 and say you're
I'm
in a
going to record, okay?
disturbance with somebody, we come code 3, like my lights are on.
You wouldn't do this for a citizen.
Yes, I would.
No, you wouldn't. You're doing it because he's a state trooper.
No.
That's why. You're doing it because he's a state trooper.
Okay. We do it for citizens every single day. Okay?
Not like this.
Yes, 100%, all the time. If we think there's an active disturbance, then we respond code 3, which means lights and sirens, and we're in an emergency response.
Do you see the spit on my face?
I don't.
You don't see the spit on my face? Well, I have it on camera. He spit in my face. I want him arrested. He spit in my face.
All right.
On camera.
Okay.
I want you to lock him up. He spit in my face. You understand that?
Okay.
If I spit in your face, what would happen to me?
Okay. Here, listen. Let's just.
I knocked on a door and he spit in my face. You can't do that.
Okay. I got what you're saying. Let's just take a step
There's
back
spit all over. I'm going to go get DNA test on his spit so you can see it.
Go do what you got to do. Let's find out what happened, the whole story.
All right, I'm going to tell you really quick what happened, okay?
No, tell me. Take a minute.
Okay. I'm an
I got a
independent.
camera on too, so
Sure.
we're good.
I'm an independent
Can I
journalist.
interrupt for 1 minute, Brian?
Yep.
Just a quick interruption. And I can't speak to de-escalation, and I'm sure it's an art and there's a lot of training on that Todd could mention. But don't you just love the manner in which this police officer approached this scene? Lights and sirens, which may have been warranted based on the category of the call response, but the officer was aggressive in how he was handling the matter initially. This is my takeaway. He was very aggressive. You get over there. Do you have any weapons? And I get it. It's so easy to Monday morning quarterback these things. You don't know if someone has a weapon. You get a call from a trooper, fine. But this like immediate rush to who's in the wrong based on this police officer's body language, verbiage, etc., was notable to me. And I interrupted your streaming of the video now because I'm watching now, and now this officer is calmer. Take all of your time you want. Tell me what happened. We'll find out what happened. So it bothers me that there was this immediate presumption that Mr. Reyes and his cameraman were the wrongdoers just because a GD Connecticut State Trooper was the one who placed the call. That's my comment.
Go ahead,
Yeah,
Todd.
and as for the de-escalation principles, he could have gotten to the calm demeanor a lot sooner.
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah. Also, body language says a lot. This is telling me you're not interested in hearing what I have to say.
Yes, I agree.
And that's
absolutely.
probably why Reyes started to escalate it again. Look, he spit in my face. You're showing this. No, you're not listening to me. He spit in my, I'm trying to tell you, he spit in my face. I mean, listen, if I come on scene and I'm an officer, I get it. Police officer, state trooper or not, I'm probably going to go talk to the guy with the gun first and ask him what's going on. Why do you have a gun in your hand and chasing this guy off your property?
Brian,
All right.
another noteworthy point that an assault not in the presence of a police officer is also not arrestable in Massachusetts. Now, the exception to the rule is domestic violence, right?
Mhm.
Where you have evidence of marks, bruises, those things. That's evidence for the police officers to be able to say, okay, something went on here. Someone's a victim. Someone was the aggressor. But what you would do is you would summons that person into court, as
Right.
opposed to physically place handcuffs on. You'd still charge them, but it would be by means of a summons.
It's very interesting. I wonder what the law says in Connecticut. I want to look into that.
We're gonna find out.
This man, as you can see from the video footage right here, assaulted me, stole my camera from me. He was never held accountable. I got a tip as an independent journalist that he is cooking the books when it comes to his overtime. I did some research. He gets $75,000 of overtime a year, and he's a desk sergeant. So I thought that was interesting. So I wanted to follow up on it. I went up here. There's not any no trespassing signs. I'm very familiar with the law. There aren't any no trespassing signs or anything like that. I went up, knocked on the door. He answered the door. I said, "Do you have any comment?" He said, "Get off my property." I immediately
I'm gonna pause for this because it's such a great comment, and I want both my experts up here to read this comment. Tisha says, "I absolutely love this channel. I learned so much from the three of you, and for that, I want to thank you guys and gals so very much for all that you do." And I'll let my panel guest take this one really quick.
What? I didn't. Oh, go ahead. I didn't. Was there a question?
No, Tisha, she's making a comment.
Yes.
And I
Yes.
absolutely love this channel. I've learned so
Tisha.
much from the three of you, and I want to thank you guys and gals so much for all that you do. You know, that's something that I
That's so
wanted to do.
nice.
That's something I wanted to do with the three of us, and we did this through the entire Karen Reed trial because we have such great chemistry, and these shows have been great. And again, to have two best experts, a lawyer and an ex-Mass State Police trooper, to get up here and break all this stuff down and talk about it, and I'm just the schmo in the middle that has my, I guess, regular everyday guy or girl opinion to add to this. You know, I'm kind of the water cooler talk where we can hear from both of the experts here, and it's been great. You know, I really enjoy the shows. I enjoy the topics we tackle, and like Todd said at the beginning of the stream, the Karen Reed case is just the gift that keeps on giving. There's just so much stuff, and I'm telling you, we're going to be in this for like another year of this conversations.
I wanted to just say thank you so much for your comment, Tisha. And I have a little secret. I think secretly Todd and I enjoy that there's so many law enforcement things going awry up in New England, so we get a chance to convene regularly to talk about them. I think we like each other a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, and this is what
you're my hero.
Yeah, and this is what Todd does. I mean, Todd teaches these types of classes, de-escalation. He teaches security. You know, this is what he's done through his entire career. He worked alongside with the fire department in arson investigations. You worked at Logan Airport. You were doing security up there, consulting concerning as a state trooper. So he's very versed in all this stuff and the law. And I love when we can get in and kind of break some of these videos down. All right, let's do a little bit more here on Shawn Paul Reyes, and then we'll end the stream. Again, I want to thank everybody for being with us today. If this is your first time over here, make sure to like, share, subscribe, and then comment after this video and tell us what you think of our panels. All right, here we go.
Started, and his camera will show that. I immediately, because I know the law, I don't break the law, sir. I immediately started backing up while continuing to ask him questions. He went back inside, closed the door, would have been the end of it. He came back out with his gun in his hand, got inches from my face. No, I would say less than inches from my face, real up to my face, and spit in my face. It's all over my face right here. All this wet is not sweat. He spit in my face as I'm leaving his property, as he asked me to do. Hey, can I just get your name and badge number, ma'am? Thank you. I appreciate it. I just want to know everybody that's here. That's all.
Yeah. I'm Romansky. That's Brion. My sergeant's right there. His name is Sergeant Bedard. You can talk with him.
He knows me. I know him. He knows I'm not a threat to him. Okay. I'm asking him questions.
I don't know that. Okay.
No, he knows that.
Okay, I got you. I got you. But if somebody came onto your property
And asked the question?
well, so if somebody came onto my property and I didn't know them, then I would be a little upset.
Yeah, that's again shaping a narrative. Here we go, Todd. Go ahead.
Yeah, that's not fact finding. Let Shawn tell his story. You again, you did a great job of finally getting to de-escalation. Shawn's got a grievance. Let him get his story out. To offer your own opinion is not needed in order to land on all the facts of this case. So again, not part of the investigation.
Are we siding with the blue wall here? Is that what that is, Todd? Is that what's going on?
I am saying that the police officer's interjection is unnecessary and does not help finding the facts of the case. I don't care about your opinion, officer.
Yeah.
It's not warranted. It's not needed. It doesn't help get to the
It's
facts.
not facts, Todd.
Not at all.
Yeah.
And to that point, I mean, this is kind of something Turtle Boy had commented on. Like, this has nothing to do with Mr. or Trooper Fahey's feelings. You know what I
Right.
mean? Like, this isn't about if you come on my property and I don't know who you are or I didn't want you there, but you're lawfully on my property, but I'd be pretty upset if you came on my property. That's ridiculous. That should have nothing to do with any of these types of statutes, in my opinion. So it doesn't lend itself towards fact finding.
Yeah. Let's go up. We'll play a little bit more of this and then we'll skip to kind of the end result of what happens to Shawn here. All right, here we go.
And I don't know.
So do you get mad? Do you get mad at a Jehovah Witness?
Well, no.
Do you pull out a gun on a Jehovah
No, I
Witness?
say no, thank you. Please leave.
Right.
Right.
And they leave.
Did you
Do you pull out your gun? Yes.
you
And do you pull out your gun and spit in their face
Sounds like you're trying to question them
as I'm leaving?
as you're leaving.
Right. You can do two things at the same time, officer.
Sure, you can do
two things at the same time.
Do whatever you want. But if somebody came onto my property
Mm.
and asked them to leave, and it sounds like you weren't leaving.
No. You're. This is why I have multiple cameers. He has a camera.
He has his camera on. Like
But you weren't here. This is you're missing the point.
Okay,
You're missing the point.
Do you want to show me the footage?
I can show you the footage,
Show me-
but
You got the footage?
wait, I can show you the footage. Go ahead. Actually, you know what? We'll see what he says, because I want him to write a report and be a liar and then go to jail for that too. He spit in my face. Do you understand that?
Yes.
All right, I'm going to pause here. Again, I feel like it's shaping trying to shape this narrative. This officer shouldn't be intervening like this. You should just be listening. And this is what I love about Shawn. He goes, "No, I'm not going to show you or tell you anything. I want to hear his side first because I got it all on video. So when he tells you and writes his report, which he knows is going to be a bunch of baloney, I'm going to show you what really happened." That's a good tactic by Shawn to think like that in the moment.
Yeah, I was going to say that was fast thinking. I don't even think I would have thought of that. I would have been like, "Look at my video. It tells you everything." But that was smart. Although I think ultimately, I can't remember if this video he ends up showing the officer or not. I don't remember if he ends up showing.
I don't think he does.
Didn't get a chance.
Yeah.
But either way, think of if you've ever gotten into a motor vehicle accident, the officer and the police called, the officer will approach you, say what happened, then approach the other person, say what happened. Here we have this kind of disparate approach to the series of events and the fact finding, and you have the officer probing like, well, it sounds like you didn't retreat. Who's saying it sounds like he didn't retreat? You have Mr. Reyes saying, "I left the entire time." Once I
on the 911 call, he said, "I'm leaving right now. I'm
Yeah.
backing up. I'm leaving."
Yeah, and it's very interesting. I'd love to find out ultimately who Trooper Fahey was on the phone with. If there's ultimate quote litigation over this, I'd like to know who Trooper Fahey had been on the phone with, because they presumably would have been a witness. I mean, I'm assuming he wasn't using like voice memo to record the encounter, although I'd want that too. But who is the person listening? Because he does say, "I'm leaving right now," and he consistently left. So I think this responding police officer, I don't know. I'm not loving his approach here. It seems like he's clearly demonstrating that he is lending credence to Trooper Fahey because he's a trooper. That's not the way it's supposed to work.
What was Reyes even charged with?
I can get charges. Hang on. I got him right here, Todd.
Oh, it's right there. Yeah.
I got it.
Okay.
Let's see. Reyes is charged with first-degree criminal trespass, second-degree breach of peace and voyeurism. Glover, his cameraman, is charged with first-degree criminal trespass, second-degree breach of peace, and voyeurism with malice. That's what they're being charged with, Todd. It was a $75,000. It started out as a simpler bond, but then then they upcharged it all the way up to $75,000. What is it, 10%? So we had to come up with $7,500 to get out.
Yeah, so I'm going to double down. All those charges are going to go away. To answer Elizabeth Roberts' question, how I would have handled it, Mr. Reyes, based on the spitting charges, if you want to take out charges, come to the station. We'll fill out a report and we'll identify the charges and let the court settle it. Sergeant Fahey, did he leave your property when he was asked? Yes. You don't have trespassing. He complied with the order once Fahey told him to get off his property.
Mm-hmm.
In the video clearly would show that. So that's how I would have handled it.
Yeah, Shawn's arraignment is on Friday morning in New London, and I'm planning on going there. I just have to find out what courthouse it's at because I think there's multiple courthouses in that area, and I don't want to show up and go, "Hey, I'm here to support," and I'm the only one there, and they're like across the street. So I need to find out because I plan on going to the arraignment. I want to see and get to talk to him in person.
That's great.
And I'm sure he's going to speak. So I just have to find out what actual the address is to the courthouse. I know the time. It's at 10 a.m., but I just don't know where it is in New London. All right, let's go to the end result here, what's going to happen with Shawn, and then we'll get final thoughts and wrap up the show. Again, I want to thank both my guests this evening, Attorney Nan Gallagher, and we have retired veteran Mass State Police Todd McGee here. All right, let's go back to the video, and then we'll wrap this one up with a final comment.
Hey, sir, how are you? So is there any updates on, because obviously I want to press charges for him spitting in my face that I showed the sergeant here on camera. So what's going to happen with that?
So we went through the assault statute specifically, and there's nothing that specifically states that spitting on somebody is an assault unless it caused you physical pain. The only thing that assault fits is physical pain. And that's under the exception of if you spit on an officer, then that is when bodily fluids become involved.
So he could spit on me in my face and in my mouth, and that's not against the law?
Circumstances, I'm saying that it doesn't really fit the assault charge.
Got to answer.
Yeah. Yeah.
So what happened if I spit on you?
Well, then you would get arrested because I'm an officer. You can't spit on an officer because in the assault on an officer charge, bodily fluids are included.
So there is no charge. You're telling me, as a sergeant of the Groton Police Department, you're telling me there is no charge for a grown man spitting in another grown man's face.
That it doesn't fit assault.
Well, what does it fit? Isn't that your job to find out? What does it fit? Like what crime it is?
Breach of peace, but you're on his property. You interacted. You engaged the
I can't wait
interaction.
for the reaction on
So
this
if
one.
it's a breach of peace, arrest him for a breach of peace.
Well, that's the other issue that we're going down right now. Is you guys are also in violation of a breach of peace.
No.
As well as
I mean, take us both then. Take us both then. It's not voyeurism. It's not voyeurism to knock on somebody's door. That's not.
It is. If he has a reasonable expectation of privacy and you invade on his curtilage.
No.
And you're recording.
You're wrong.
Him,
but do it. Then I will gladly go take the ride. Arrest us both for a breach of peace.
Well, then turn around for me.
Do what you got to do, man. Do what you got to do. This is ridiculous. This is.
All right, let's pause here. Todd, give me your.
Can I just read something for you guys and the audience?
Do.
In Connecticut, threatening someone can lead to charges of threatening in the second degree, a misdemeanor, or threatening in the first degree, a felony, depending on specific circumstances and severity. So here's where the nuance comes in. Threatening in the second degree involves intentionally placing someone in fear of imminent, serious physical injury or threatening to commit a crime of violence to terrorize another. I think that fits the behavior of Sergeant Fahey, that sentence I just read.
Yeah, I do too. I didn't know about it. Good job.
Yep, and I'll finish with this. Threatening the first degree is a more serious charge, potentially involving a felony conviction and longer prison sentence. And I would tie that in with possession of the firearm as part of that threatening body posture.
Wow. And by the way, you know, one of the things that bothers me at the end of this video here
excuse me,
is literally the fact that Mr. Reyes is like, well, then take us both in. And he kind of makes that dismissive statement. And the officer is like, oh, very well, turn around. Almost like the officer is being retaliatory. Like, okay, we're going to cuff you up now and not only take you, but take your cameraman with you. And by this point, I don't understand if there was a lapse in time, but I didn't grasp from this video if there was even time to have taken a fuller statement from Trooper Fahey by this point. It really seems lopsided to me. The officers kind of heard enough and then were quasi-taunted by Mr. Reyes, legally speaking, and he was within his right to do it, but he's like, well, then take us both in. Very well, turn around, cuff them up, and he goes, but nothing happens to Fahey. I think you've hit it spot on, Todd, in terms of what Trooper Fahey's conduct would fall under. And I don't know if there will be charges against him or not. I doubt it. I'm hoping they go away as to Reyes and the other gentleman.
Yeah, the proper response by that supervisor on scene would have been, there's another charge for that.
Yeah.
Not a shoulder shrug is my point.
Yeah. And it made me think of, do you both remember the Gabby Petito case? And
Yes.
There's an issue in that case that, you know, there's civil litigation that stemmed from it. And it had to do with a roadside stop of Brian Laundrie and Gabby Petito within like the 24 to 48 hours before she went missing and her ultimate demise. But the officers out in like Utah or wherever they were had stopped them because of, you know, a domestic a DV related allegation and erratic driving. And those officers on the spot were like looking up DV related statutes on the spot to determine what they were supposed to do and what the right course of action was. Who should they be taking away from the other person? Who gets protective housing and et cetera. And it just made me think to myself when I saw this officer in Mr. Reyes's matter, I'm like, is it normal? And maybe it is, Todd. Is it normal and typical for troopers or police officers to be like looking up statutes on the scene to see if
going to ask him that, Nan? Good question.
Oh, I'm sorry, Brian.
No, I was just going to ask him, like, how does this work?
Like, do you have a handbook?
Charge people, right?
You know, it makes me think of when I had like a pocket constitution when I first became a lawyer. Like, are you just whipping it out going, okay, yeah, it falls under that. How does that
the little
work,
black book.
Todd?
We did a lot of motor vehicle enforcement, so I always had a cheat sheet. I always had a whole list of statutes that I could write on a citation, Mass General Laws, Chapter 90, whatever the violation is, and you would have the same thing for your criminal, right? You're not everything, but
right.
your most frequent, if you will, charges you would have a cheat sheet on. The fact that there were so many police officers there would have been time to research the appropriate charge and advise Mr. Reyes, if you want to take charges, come to the station and we'll accommodate your request.
Yeah, this case is very interesting. I was very surprised that it popped up in like the middle of the day and Aiden started reporting on it, like I think on Friday or Thursday. And I was like, what is this case? This is amazing. It definitely makes me want to follow the Long Island audit or auditor and audit and to sign the petition for him. And I'm so impressed, Brian, that you're going to the hearing once you find the courthouse.
Yeah, I'm going to try to get down there. I'd like to get down there and just see how how things work. And I'm sure he's going to have a lot of support there. Yeah, I've been following Shawn for at least a good 2 or 3 years. And this popped into my feed immediately. I was tweeting about it on the same day it dropped on the 14th. and just going, everybody needs to look at this. And I just didn't get around to doing like a reaction video yet. And you know, I had the opportunity with Jason on Sunday, and I was really hoping, and I'm glad that we could have that we went through this, to the three of us, to really pick this apart. Because I knew where Nan sat on this because she was in my chat on Sunday, but I was really curious to see where Todd was going to land on this too, to hear. And, very pleasantly surprised with, all of our thoughts on this, because I think we got it right on this one. There's a channel out there that it's called Audit the Audit, and they do these kind of breakdowns of these two. And I can hear the voice now. Mr. Reyes acted in, a journalistic way, and he gets an A+. And Sergeant Fahey, for his failure to, whatever, he gets an F-. So I'm sure we may hear that soon. But
I need to watch more of these. Like, I really didn't have an appreciation for these types of auditors. I will do that moving forward.
Yeah.
I can tell you the First Amendment audit stuff, police officers get jammed up more often than they should.
More often than they should.
More
Interesting.
often than they should. Yeah.
I can say this. There's some wacky channels out there that do it, but I enjoy the guys that do it correctly. And I have to say that Shawn Paul Reyes does it correctly. He knows the law. He follows the law. And look, now he has this unfortunate situation, but I have to go along with what Todd says. He's feeling that these charges are going to be dropped. I hope so, as they should, but I don't know. This could be another stick it to you situation, just like Aiden Carney's going through. So we'll have to see the final result of this. I know this is something that I can continue to watch. I'm sure everybody in this chat is as well.